Hi guys, Jared here. I hope you all had a wonderful weekend and got some good rest because it's time to get back into the market for at least a couple of days. We've got Thanksgiving coming up, so we'll have a little bit, at least for the U.S. clients, a little bit of a break coming Thursday and Friday. Let's talk about what we have going on in the market. We have lots of very interesting, very good-looking levels. It's going to be a little. We'll have to see how the week goes with U.S. holiday coming up like this. That could really kind of slow the U.S. markets, thus causing, maybe a lot less volume in pairs such as the euro dollar, pound dollar, so on, anything with the U.S. dollar in it. So we'll keep our eye out on that, and we'll just kind of take it as it comes. But as far as everything goes right now, we have some pretty good-looking setups coming up, and we've also got some pretty interesting news coming out this week. First of all, we have, starting Monday, we've got retail sales and home sales for the U.S., Tuesday we go into some things like GDP for the U.S. We've got some FOMC meeting minutes for the U.S. We have some pound, very good UK announcements, the GDP. We've got the durable goods for the U.S. as well, and home sales once again on Wednesday. And then Thursday we've got the CBI for the UK, and then that's where we start sneaking into some U.S. bank holidays. So we'll keep an eye on that. The news is definitely coming out. Let's talk a little bit about what we have on these setups. We see that this euro has double topped nicely, and it continues to kind of consolidate down here. It's hitting over and over again on our daily gap. It's hitting these upper Fibonacci's, and then it comes just back and hits our daily gap. The level that has seemed to hold very well for the last little while is about this 48.20. Even though the market has dipped below it just a little bit, a couple of wicks below that, kind of that 4800 really is the strong level. But I'm really watching kind of 48.20. So anywhere from 4800 to 48.20 is our really strong level. But what I'm going to be looking for a little bit on this euro is obviously if it breaks these lower levels, we'll be taking it down. 4800 is going to be kind of a big marker for me. We get that thing below there, and it'll be time to start looking for some selling opportunities. But one big one that I'm going to be looking for is to take this pair back on upward. It's been a little bit choppy, but I think that it's not totally ready to turn around just yet. So I've got a nice little descending trend line down through this area here. Basically, this nice movement up will be marked by a 1 hour crossover. If this pair crosses over up on the 1 hour chart, let's jump in and buy the heck out of this thing. But once again, we'll need to kind of keep our eye on these setups and how they do end up going here. If it breaks these lower levels, then definitely it could be, it could very likely be reversal time and start to take this pair much lower. But at least for the time being, we'll have to kind of just judge it as we go. But 1 hour crossover potentially up on the euro dollar. Watch 48.20 to 4800 for continued downward movement. So keep an eye on that. Pound dollar, we have a very similar type situation. This pound dollar has been heading down and down and down and breaking down. Now we've got this nice little channel in here, about 64.50 to about 65.30. This nice little area where the market's consolidating very well. We're going to be watching this one as we look at the larger time frames. We see that it's continually been bouncing off these upper fib levels and coming back down, and this has been about the furthest below the daily gap it's been in a little while. We know that the pound is a little bit trendless, and so this could just as easily head down and hit some of these third and fourth lower Fibonacci levels. So we're going to watch this guy, see what it does. So basically our level to watch here is on the upper side. If we can get a break of 65.30, this could be good for a quick little 20-30 pip run, and then obviously our typical our typical breaking of these Friday highs, which is about 66.75, will ultimately take this pair higher and higher and higher. But we'll look at this little channel that we have right here, 64.50 to about 65.30, a break up, take it up a couple of pips, a break down. We could be headed into these lower ranges on the day chart. So definitely watch for that. That's what we're going to be looking for on the pound dollar. Australian dollar, we have a very nice little setup here. This Aussie dollar has been bouncing itself up this big trend line, really just making its way up, and finally it comes back and hits this daily gap. I don't think this is going to be the hit that breaks it and causes it to totally reverse and head straight south on us. So what we're going to be looking for is this nice little trend line right in here, which once again will be marked by a nice 1 hour crossover. All we need is to get the market to cross our 13 moving average on the 1 hour chart, and this pair should be good to go up for at least for at least a little chunk of the first part of the week, Monday, and then maybe it decides to turn back around on us on Tuesday. But it looks like this is probably going to be our first run to happen. Once again, this is kind of the first big hit on this Aussie dollar on the daily gap in about a month. 3 weeks. And so, and it's also just barely tapping that trend line once again. So I think this will still have a little bit of push to make its way back up. So our ascending trend line right here, probably going to be looking for an entry. Once again, we just need to do that 1 hour crossover. So that's probably going to give us an entry anywhere around the 91, 65 to 80 area, kind of up in there, to take this pair up higher. So just keep an eye on that one right there. That's going to be a good little run. Euro pairs are interesting. We see that this euro pound, should the pound continue lower and the euro continue higher, then definitely be watching for some sort of continued upward movement here. We had this very nice trend line of almost 2 months, and the euro pound has just broken it. So this could be really headed up to some much higher levels. We see this nice little high back here about 90.60, and so this pair could really be headed up higher. So especially if we see this pound break the lows, like it looks like it could potentially do, and the euro break that descending trend line right there, then watch out for this euro pound, because this puppy is headed straight for the sky. This one could make its way easily up to the second, third Fibonacci's over the week. So where it stands, we've had a breakout currently. 90.60 is going to be kind of our first major level of resistance, and then beyond that we're going to start watching the daily fibs to get out of that thing. Euro yen, same type of situation here. We see that it's been kind of continuing down, but now it's coming to a wedging point here. 131.75-ish, give or take, is kind of our lower level right there. So we're going to watch that. A break of that could easily take this pair lower. We do see that there is plenty of downside space if we want to get into these lows here of 130.100, 129.50, right in that area there. But likewise, if it does decide to bounce off this 131.75 area and break our little descending trend line that we have right there, we'll be in there to get on that. If you're unclear on these levels, this is also just going to be a 1 hour crossover, which means, to review, opening above the blue line. Just an open above the blue line is all we're looking for, and we're taking this puppy straight up. So just watch that wedging level. A break of this could definitely give us a very nice sell. 1 hour crossover, very nice buy. We're just going to wait for one or the other to happen. And last but not least, my little favorite here, the pound yen. This guy gave us one heck of a breakout. We saw this one coming a million miles away, and it just broke and headed straight south on us. It made its way all the way down to the level we were watching for, about the 146.40 area down here below. Down into these lows of earlier this month, and now it's just kind of sitting and consolidating. So what we'll look for on this one is we've kind of got a descending trend line we can throw into here and watch for kind of once again a 1 hour crossover on this guy. I definitely will be looking for this little upper channel right here of about 147.10. And so if this can break and hold below 146.40, then it'll probably be time to take this pair further to the downside. However, if it does break this 147.10, watch for that 1 hour crossover, because that puppy's probably getting ready to happen and will take us straight on up, straight up there. So those are going to be the levels we're going to look for, guys. I think we're going to have some very nice trades this Sunday night. There's some really great setups kind of across the board. Feel free to rewind and watch this video a couple of times, because these setups are all looking very good. Some of them may be a little shorter lived than others, and that's okay, because there's going to be some really nice ones in here. So euro pairs, if 1 euro starts to move, then they'll all move pretty well, most likely. Euro pound's definitely looking great. This Australian's looking very nice for a nice continued upward movement. Pound yen's looking good, and the euro yen's looking really good. It's actually tough to say. These are all looking pretty good. So just kind of keep your eyes out on these guys, and just be ready to trade them and make some pips. Good luck, everybody. We'll see you on the chat this week. Take care.